The big glass doors of the Galactic Council chamber opened with a soft whoosh sound, and Quan Ho stepped inside wearing his best black suit. His hands were a little shaky, but he tried to look calm and confident. This was the most important day in human history, and he knew millions of people back on Earth were watching through the live video feed. The chamber was huge and made of some kind of crystal that seemed to glow from the inside. 12 different alien races sat in a circle around the center where Quan Ho now stood alone. He had studied each race for months, but seeing them in person was still shocking. The Vorthak were the scariest-looking ones. They looked like giant lizards that could walk on 2 legs, and their leader, Elder Vextar, was at least 3 meters tall. His scales changed colors like oil in sunlight, and his yellow eyes never stopped watching Quan Ho. When he breathed, his nostrils made a soft hissing sound that reminded Quan Ho of snakes. The Milani were completely different. They looked like floating jellyfish made of light, but Quan Ho could see darker shapes moving inside their transparent bodies. When they talked, their voices sounded like music, but sad music that made him feel lonely. The crystalline beings called the Zealoth looked like living rocks that had been carved into the shape of people. When light hit them, they sparkled like diamonds, and when they moved, they made tiny ringing sounds like wind chimes. There were 9 other races in the chamber, and each one looked stranger than the last. Some had too many arms, and others had no arms at all. Some floated in the air, and others were so big they had to sit on the floor instead of chairs. Elder Vextar leaned forward in his massive stone chair and spoke in a voice that sounded like rocks grinding together. His words came out slow and careful, like he was tasting each one before he said it. Your species has been watched for exactly 3 years, human Quan Ho. We have seen your cities and your technology. We have studied your history and your wars. The Galactic Council finds your civilization adequate for membership in our alliance. Quan Ho felt his heart beating faster. This was going better than anyone had hoped. But then Elder Vextar continued talking. However, there are serious concerns about your species and your violent nature. Your planet Earth is covered with dangerous creatures that would kill our strongest warriors without effort. How does such a weak species survive in such a deadly place? The other council members began nodding and making sounds of agreement. The Milani started glowing brighter, which meant they were excited or worried. The Zealoth began ringing like bells, which was their way of showing they agreed with something. Quan Ho cleared his throat and tried to remember all the things he had practiced saying. Actually, honored Elder Vextar humans have been living in peace for over 200 years. We stopped having wars and we ended hunger and most diseases. We are not a violent species anymore. A new voice spoke up, and it sounded like breaking glass. This was Zealoth, the leader of the crystalline beings. Yet your world is filled with apex predators that hunt in packs. We have seen the creatures you call wolves and lions and bears. These beasts would terrify our greatest soldiers. How does your species exist alongside such monsters? Before Quan Ho could answer, his communication device made a soft beeping sound. He looked down at the screen and saw a message from his daughter Jiwoo back on Earth. She had attached a picture like she did every day to show him what she was doing. The picture made Quan Ho smile without thinking about it. Jiwoo was sitting in their backyard laughing with her mouth wide open. A huge German shepherd was licking her face, and his big pink tongue covered half her cheek. In the background, their orange cat Mr. Boots was sleeping in a sunny spot by the window. Quan Ho looked up at the 12 alien races who were all staring at him with their strange eyes. He realized this was the perfect moment to show them something they would never expect. Actually, he said, turning his device so they could all see the screen, we did not just survive these creatures. We made them part of our families. The entire chamber went completely silent. 12 races that had conquered star systems and bent the laws of physics to their will were staring at a tiny screen, showing a human child playing with what they knew was a descendant of wolves. Elder Vextar's voice dropped to almost a whisper, and his scales turned a darker color. That creature could tear the young human apart in seconds. Why does it not attack? Quan Ho laughed, and the sound echoed strangely in the crystal chamber. Max, he said, pointing at the dog, has been Jiwoo's best friend since she was born. He sleeps in her bed every night and brings her toys when she feels sad. When she cries, he comes running to make sure she is okay. The alien council members started talking to each other in their own languages, all at the same time. Some of them sounded excited, and others sounded scared. The Milani were flashing different colors like Christmas lights, and the Zaloth were ringing so loud it hurt Quan Ho's ears. A new alien spoke up from the back of the chamber. This one looked like a giant insect with too many legs and compound, eyes that reflected light like mirrors. The human claims his species lives voluntarily with apex predators. This contradicts everything we know about evolution and survival. Another alien that looked like a floating cloud of purple gas spoke in a voice that sounded like wind blowing through caves. Our records show that species either flee from such predators or develop advanced weapons to destroy them. The humans appear to have done neither. Quan Ho held up his hands to get their attention. The noise in the chamber slowly died down as all the aliens focused on him again. His heart was still beating fast, but now he felt excited instead of scared. If you want to understand humans, he said, you need to understand that we do not see these animals as monsters or enemies. We see them as friends and family members. They protect us and we take care of them. We have been partners for thousands of years. Elder Vextar stood up from his chair, and his full height was even more impressive than Quan Ho had expected. The giant lizard alien walked closer until he was looking down at the small human from just a few meters away. You speak of partnership with creatures that hunt in coordinated packs. You claim emotional bonds with beings that possess natural weapons, capable of ending your existence. This is either the greatest evolutionary adaptation we have ever encountered, or the most dangerous delusion in galactic history. Quan Ho looked up at the towering alien and smiled. Why don't you come to Earth and see for yourself? 6 months after Ambassador Quan Ho first showed the Galactic Council a picture of his daughter with her dog, the entire political structure of the galaxy was about to change forever. The crystal chamber that had once seemed so intimidating to human visitors now felt almost small as the most important meeting in galactic history was about to begin. Ambassador Quan Ho entered the chamber, but this time he was not alone, and he was not nervous. Walking beside him was Dr. Eun-jung, Earth's new Minister of Galactic Affairs, who had been chosen for her brilliant diplomatic skills. At her side trotted a sleek black dog wearing a specially designed spacesuit that allowed her to breathe in the station's atmosphere. The dog was Nova, a Belgian Malinois who had been trained for diplomatic missions. Nova was incredibly intelligent and had been taught to remain calm and professional, no matter what strange aliens she encountered. Her dark eyes were alert and focused as she took in all the unusual sights and smells of the council chamber. The 12 elder races had spent months conducting their investigation into humanity, and what they discovered had shaken their civilizations to their very foundations. Each race had uncovered disturbing truths about their own history and evolution that they had tried to forget. Elder Counselor Vextar spoke first, but his massive reptilian form somehow seemed smaller and less threatening than before. The scales on his body had turned a darker color, which indicated deep concern among his people. Humans of Earth, our investigation has reached its conclusion. Your species represents something that has never existed before in the recorded history of our galaxy. In every case, we have studied species that evolved alongside apex predators followed one of 3 paths. He gestured with one clawed hand toward the other council members. The Vorthak developed thick armor and grew to enormous size to fight the predators on our world. The Milani transcended physical form entirely to escape the threat of being hunted. The Zaloth became living crystals that no organic predator could consume. Jaloth, the leader of the crystalline beings, spoke next in their voice like breaking glass. Every elder race in this chamber has spent millions of years shaped by fear of apex predators. We developed our technologies, our societies, and our very evolution as responses to that primal terror. Captain Narath materialized her crystal form and stepped forward. But you humans chose a 4th path that we believed was impossible. Instead of fleeing fighting or evolving beyond physical form, you chose partnership. Dr. Eun-jung stepped forward with Nova sitting calmly at attention beside her. The dog's ears were alert, but she showed no fear of the massive alien beings surrounding them. We chose friendship, Dr. Eun-jung said simply. We discovered that many of these predators were not our enemies but potential allies. All they needed was understanding, patience, and genuine care. War leader Gorth from the Ironclaw Federation clicked his metal claws together. This partnership ability extends beyond simple predators. Our analysis indicates humans can form alliances with any species, regardless of how dangerous they appear if mutual benefit exists. Sub-Commander Zixal from the Hive Nexus buzzed nervously. The implications are clear. If humans can befriend apex predators designed by evolution to kill them, they can potentially form alliances with any intelligent species in the galaxy. Scholar Vinth's purple mist swirled with what the aliens recognized as deep concern. Your species has demonstrated capabilities that frankly terrify us. You have shown that you can turn any potential enemy into a willing partner through empathy and emotional connection. Elder Vextar leaned forward in his massive chair. The question before this council is no longer whether humanity deserves membership in our alliance. The question is whether we can afford to not have you as our allies. Commander Klex from the Void Hunters stepped forward with his mechanical parts whirring softly. Our battle computers have run thousands of scenarios. Any species capable of forming partnerships with apex predators possesses strategic abilities that could reshape galactic politics entirely. Ambassador Quan Ho smiled warmly at the assembled aliens. We never wanted to be feared by anyone. We have always just wanted to make friends and work together to solve problems. That Elder Vextar replied is exactly what makes you so powerful. You offer friendship instead of conquest, partnership instead of domination. In a galaxy where most species maintain careful distances from each other, you represent something completely new. Captain Narath's crystal body began glowing brighter. After extensive deliberation, the Galactic Council has reached a unanimous decision. Humanity is not only accepted as a full member, but we invite you to establish the first interspecies diplomatic corps in galactic history. Dr. Yun-Yung looked surprised. What would that involve exactly? Zeloth answered with their musical voice. If humans can form genuine partnerships with apex predators, perhaps you can help the elder races overcome the ancient fears and prejudices that have kept us isolated from each other for millions of years. The vote was recorded officially and broadcast to every world in the galaxy. Humanity was now not just a member of the Galactic Council, but had been given a unique role as mediators and diplomats between species that had never fully trusted each other. As the ceremony concluded, Nova performed a perfect military salute by sitting at attention with her head held high. Camera drones from dozens of alien news networks recorded the historic moment. The image would become famous throughout the galaxy, showing a small human woman, her canine partner, and 12 ancient alien races standing together in the first truly unified galactic government. Later, Ambassador Quan Ho would tell reporters that the most powerful alliance in galactic history had been secured because his daughter sent him a picture of her playing with the family dog. But as he watched various alien species begin to cautiously approach Nova with curiosity instead of fear, he realized the truth was much deeper. Humans had shown the galaxy that the strongest relationships were not built on fear or dominance, but on mutual respect, genuine affection, and the courage to extend friendship even to those who seemed dangerous. In a universe full of ancient civilizations that had spent eons running from their fears, humanity offered something revolutionary. They offered the simple but powerful idea that former enemies could become the very best friends. The alien investigation took a dramatic turn when the delegates requested permission to visit Earth itself. Captain Narath insisted that seeing humans interact with predators in space stations was not enough. They needed to witness how humans lived on their actual homeworld surrounded by wild apex predators that had never been domesticated. Dr. Su Jin was Earth's leading expert on alien psychology, and she had been chosen to guide the visitors on their planetary tour. She was a small woman with kind eyes who had spent years studying how different species thought and felt. She understood that these aliens were not just curious about human pet ownership, but were deeply frightened by what they had discovered. Their first stop was the Australian outback, one of the harshest environments on Earth. The red desert stretched endlessly in all directions under a blazing sun that would kill most alien species within hours. But humans had learned to survive and even thrive in this deadly landscape. Park Ranger Dong Hyun met them at the landing site wearing a wide hat and clothes that protected him from the intense heat. Beside him stood a lean, muscular dog with golden fur and intelligent amber eyes. This was Scout Dingo, who worked as Donghyun's partner in wildlife conservation efforts. Dingoes are Australia's top predator, Donghyun explained, as Scout sniffed curiously at the strange alien visitors. They hunt in packs and can take down animals much larger than themselves. But Scout here is my best friend and co-worker. He can track endangered species from kilometers away and has never hurt any animal he was not supposed to. Commander Klex, from the Void Hunters, scanned Scout with his mechanical sensors. This creature possesses all the physical attributes of an apex predator: enhanced senses, powerful jaw muscles, endurance adapted for pursuit hunting. Yet it serves conservation purposes rather than hunting. As they walked through the harsh landscape, Scout efficiently tracked various animals for the conservation team. He would catch the scent of a koala or wombat and lead Donghyun to where the animals needed medical care or relocation to safer areas. Despite being descended from hunters, Scout showed perfect restraint around the vulnerable creatures they were trying to protect. The next location shocked the aliens even more. At a wildlife rehabilitation center, they met Dr. Ye-jin, who worked with some of Earth's most dangerous predators. Large cats, bears, and other creatures that had been injured or orphaned were brought here to recover before being released back into the wild. Dr. Ye-jin was bottle-feeding a tiny tiger cub when the alien delegation arrived. The baby tiger was orange, with black stripes, and made small mewing sounds as it drank from the bottle. Nearby, an adult leopard named Shadow lounged peacefully in a patch of sunlight. Shadow had been rescued as a cub and could never be released into the wild, but she lived contentedly at the center. The aliens stared in horror and fascination. Captain Narath's crystal body flickered rapidly with confusion. "You are feeding a juvenile apex predator by hand while an adult specimen rests within striking distance. This should result in immediate death." Dr. Ye-jin looked up from the tiger cub and smiled. "Shadow could kill me in about 2 seconds if she wanted to, but she doesn't want to. We've been friends for 7 years. She knows I take care of her and keep her safe and fed. Why would she hurt someone who loves her?" Scholar Vinth's misty form swirled with agitation. "But how do you overcome the primal fear response? Our species developed our abilities specifically to escape creatures like these. The terror of being hunted by apex predators drove our evolution for millions of years." Dr. Su-jin stepped forward to address the core of their confusion. "That's exactly the point. Most humans don't experience that same level of terror around these animals. We see them as individuals with personalities and emotions, not just as killing machines. We learn to read their body language, understand their needs, and respect their boundaries." War Leader Gorth clicked his metal claws nervously. "Your species appears to lack proper survival instincts. Any rational being would maintain maximum distance from such threats." Dr. Su-jin shook her head. "We have survival instincts, but we also have something else. We have empathy and the ability to form emotional connections across species barriers. We can tell the difference between an animal that wants to hurt us and one that just wants to be our friend." To demonstrate this, Dr. Ye-jin approached Shadow the leopard. The big cat opened her golden eyes and made a soft chuffing sound of greeting. Dr. Ye-jin sat down next to Shadow and began gently scratching behind her ears. Shadow closed her eyes and began purring a deep rumbling sound that vibrated through the ground. The aliens watched in stunned silence as one of their galaxy's most feared predator types acted like an oversized house cat enjoying attention from her human friend. Shadow rolled onto her back to let Dr. Ye-jin rub her belly, showing complete trust and relaxation. Sub-Commander Zixal's compound eyes focused intently on the scene. The predator is displaying submission behaviors typically seen only between packmates or family groups. It recognizes the human as a trusted companion rather than prey. That night, as the alien delegates prepared their reports back to their respective governments, a disturbing realization settled over them. The Vorthak had ancient legends about their ancestors trying to domesticate smaller predators only to be driven to near extinction. The Milani had historical records showing that their evolution into energy beings was motivated primarily by fear of physical predators on their homeworld. Every elder race in the galaxy had been shaped by their relationship with apex predators. They had either fled from them, developed weapons to destroy them, or evolved beyond physical form to escape the threat entirely. But humans had chosen a completely different path. Captain Narath spoke the thought that haunted them all. If humans can form genuine partnerships with creatures designed by evolution to kill them, what does that say about their potential relationships with other intelligent species? The question hung in the air unanswered, but they all understood the implications. Humanity possessed capabilities that could reshape the entire galactic order. The elder races had spent millions of years running from their fears, but humans had learned to turn their predators into protectors. Tomorrow they would have to decide whether this made humans the galaxy's greatest hope or its most dangerous threat. The news about humans and their apex predator pets spread through the galaxy faster than light itself. Within just 6 hours, every alien race in the Galactic Council was trying to access Earth's public networks to understand what they had discovered. What they found made no sense according to everything they thought they knew about survival. Yulsan was a human scientist who studied alien cultures from his small research station floating in space near a distant star. He had been working alone for 3 years studying how different alien races communicated with each other. His station was tiny with just enough room for his lab, his bedroom, and a small kitchen. On a normal day, Yulsan might get 1 or 2 messages from other scientists. But today his communication system would not stop beeping and flashing. Message after message was coming in from alien species he had only read about in textbooks. Species that had never talked to humans before were suddenly very interested in what he had to say. The first visitor to arrive at his station was Commander Thralax of the Void Hunters. The Void Hunters were a race of cyborg warriors who had replaced most of their organic body parts with mechanical ones. They were famous throughout the galaxy for being the best fighters and weapon makers anywhere. Thralax appeared on Yulsan's station through some kind of teleportation technology that made the air sparkle and buzz with electricity. When the light faded, a tall figure stood in the middle of the lab. Half of his body was still organic alien flesh, but the other half was made of black metal and glowing circuits. His mechanical eye whirred and clicked as it focused on Yulsan. "Human," Yulsan Thralax said, in a voice that sounded like metal grinding against metal. "Our battle computers have analyzed your species data. You coexist with creatures we classify as alpha-level predators. Our tactical programs cannot understand how this is possible." Yulsan turned on his holographic display system and smiled at his strange visitor. "Well, let me show you some examples. This is Luna, and she belongs to my friend Minseo back on Earth." The hologram showed a woman with long black hair sitting at a computer in what looked like a mountain rescue station. At her feet lay a huge dog with thick white and black fur and bright blue eyes. The dog was massive and looked like it could run for days without getting tired. Thralax stepped closer to the hologram and his mechanical parts made soft whirring sounds. "This creature appears to be a modified wolf. Our databases indicate wolves hunt in coordinated packs and can bring down prey much larger than themselves. Yet it rests peacefully near the human female." Yulsan nodded. "Huskies like Luna were bred from wolves thousands of years ago. They can run in freezing cold weather that would kill most other animals. They have incredible endurance and can pull heavy sleds across ice and snow for hundreds of kilometers. And this creature submits to human authority?" Thralax asked. "Not exactly," Yulsan replied. "They work together as partners. Luna helps Minseo with search and rescue operations in dangerous mountain areas. Luna can smell people buried under snow from very far away, and she has saved dozens of human lives. Minseo takes care of Luna and feeds her and makes sure she stays healthy and happy." Thralax's organic eye widened, while his mechanical eye zoomed in on the hologram. The predator voluntarily risks its life to save humans. The next image showed a small orange and white cat sleeping peacefully on a soft couch in someone's living room. The cat looked completely relaxed with its paws tucked under its body and its eyes closed. "And this creature?" Thralax asked. "That's just a regular house cat," Yulsan explained. "Domestic cats came from African wild cats originally. They are perfect hunting machines with incredible speed and reflexes. They can see in almost complete darkness, and they have razor-sharp claws that retract into their paws, yet it appears to be dormant." Yulsan laughed. Tamed, who owns that cat, says Mr. Whiskers sleeps about 16 hours a day. But at 3 in the morning, he likes to run around the apartment like invisible demons are chasing him. He also brings Tamed dead mice as presents, which Tamed pretends to appreciate. More alien visitors began arriving at Yulsan Station throughout the day. Each one studied the images and videos with growing amazement and fear. The drift wraiths were gaseous beings who lived in the vacuum of space, and they had never seen biological creatures interact peacefully before. The stone shapers were rock-like, aliens who built their cities by singing to mountains, and they could not understand how soft, fleshy creatures could coexist. A delegation from the Hive Nexus arrived next. They were insect-like creatures who shared a group mind and always acted together. Their speaker was a drone named Zixal, who had compound eyes that could see in dozens of different light spectrums. Human Yulsan Zixal buzzed in a voice like, "1,000 flies, we have observed your domestication records. You have formed partnerships with hundreds of different predator species. Bears that can crush trees. Cats large enough to hunt your ancestors. Birds of prey with talons designed for killing." Yulsan pulled up more holograms showing a man named Dongwu working with a trained hawk. The bird would fly high above forests and help Dongwu locate injured animals that needed medical care. Another image showed a woman named He-Jin, who worked at a wildlife rehabilitation center. She was bottle-feeding a baby tiger while an adult leopard sat nearby watching calmly. The most shocking image showed a family having a picnic in their backyard. Children were playing while 3 large dogs watched over them like protective guardians. The dogs were different breeds, but all were clearly descended from wolves. They showed no signs of aggression toward the vulnerable human children. Your young are completely defenseless around these predators, Zixal observed. This defies all evolutionary logic. By the end of the day, Yulsan had spoken with representatives from 8 different alien races. Each one left his station more confused than when they arrived. The humans had not conquered these predators through superior technology or weapons. They had not enslaved them or forced them into submission. Instead, they had formed genuine emotional bonds based on mutual trust and affection. That night, as Yulsan prepared his daily report to Earth, he realized something important was happening. The alien races were not just curious about human pet ownership, they were frightened by it. The idea that humans could turn apex predators into willing allies suggested capabilities that made even the most advanced civilizations nervous. If humans could befriend creatures designed by evolution to kill them, what did that say about humanity's potential relationships with other intelligent species? The galaxy was about to find out. 3 weeks after Quan Ho showed the council his daughter's picture with her dog, a massive alien fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. 5 different elder races had joined together to send their best scientists and military officers to investigate the human apex predator situation. They needed to see it with their own eyes because the reports they were getting seemed impossible. The fleet was led by Captain Narath of the Astral Collective. Her people had evolved beyond physical bodies millions of years ago and existed as pure thought energy. But for this mission, she had created a temporary crystal body that sparkled like a diamond when light hit it. She had not taken physical form in over 300 years, but this investigation was too important to observe from a distance. The human greeting party waited for them at New Harmony Orbital Station, which floated high above Earth. Dr. Hyun Woo was Earth's Director of Interspecies Relations, and he had been chosen to guide the alien visitors because he was known for staying calm under pressure. But even he felt nervous as the alien ships docked with the station. When the airlock opened, Dr. Hyun Woo stepped forward to welcome their guests. But he was not alone. Sitting calmly beside him was a large golden-colored dog with a thick, fluffy coat and a constantly wagging tail. The dog's name was Buddy, and he was the station's official therapy dog whose job was to help stressed humans feel better. "Welcome to our solar system," Dr. Hyun-woo said with a warm smile. "This is Buddy, our therapy dog. He helps our staff deal with the stress of working in space." Captain Narath's crystal body flickered with surprise. That creature is descended from pack-hunting wolves, yet it shows no aggressive behavior toward unknown entities. Buddy's job is to make people feel happy and relax, Dr. Hyun-woo explained while scratching behind the dog's soft ears. Golden retrievers like Buddy were specifically bred to have gentle personalities. They love meeting new people, and they have a natural instinct to help others feel comfortable. The alien delegation included Subcommander Zixel from the Hive Nexus, whose compound eyes could see dozens of different types of light. There was also War Leader Gorth from the Iron Claw Federation, who looked like a giant crab made of metal. Scholar Vinth from the Dreamweavers floated like a cloud of purple mist, and Commander Klex from the Void Hunters had mechanical arms that could crush steel. As they toured the station, the aliens witnessed things that challenged everything they thought they knew about predators and prey relationships. In the medical bay, they met a therapy cat named Princess who helped patients recover from surgery faster. Princess was a small gray and white cat who would sit on patients' beds and purr. Somehow her purring made people heal quicker and feel less pain. In the engineering section, they found a border collie named Einstein who had been trained to inspect equipment and alert technicians to problems. Einstein could smell mechanical failures before they happened, and his incredible intelligence let him understand complex patterns that even humans missed. But it was in the recreation area where the aliens truly began to understand how deep the human-predator relationship went. Several human children were playing games while multiple dogs of different breeds watched over them like protective guards. The dogs were alert and aware of everything happening, but they showed no signs of wanting to hunt or harm the children. A little girl named So Young was teaching a large German shepherd named King how to fetch a ball. King was massive with pointed ears and intelligent brown eyes that tracked every movement around the play area. When So Young threw the ball, King would run after it and bring it back to her with his tail wagging happily. Nearby, her brother Jun-Ho sat quietly reading a book, while a fluffy orange cat slept peacefully in his lap. The cat's name was Mochi, and he purred softly as Jun-Ho gently stroked his fur. "Your young ones are completely unprotected with these apex predators," Sub-Commander Zixol observed with his buzzing insect voice. Dr. Hyunwoo looked confused by this statement. "Unprotected?" he asked. "These are the most protected children in the galaxy. Each of those dogs would fight to the death before letting any harm come to the kids. King there has been trained in protection work. He could take down an armed adult attacker in seconds, but he's also gentle enough that So Young dresses him up in silly costumes for fun." War Leader Gorth clicked his metal claws together nervously. This contradicts all logical survival programming. Predators should view small, weak creatures as prey items, not as pack members to protect. Scholar Vinth's misty form swirled with confusion. "Our species fled to other dimensions to escape similar predators on our homeworld. How do you simply coexist with them in shared living spaces?" Dr. Hyunwoo called King over to demonstrate. The large German shepherd trotted over with his tongue hanging out and sat down politely next to the group of aliens. Several of them stepped backward instinctively, even though King showed no signs of aggression. "King knows the difference between a real threat and visitors," Dr. Hyunwoo explained. "Right now he's reading all of your body language and scent signatures. He knows you're nervous but not dangerous, so he's staying calm and friendly. If someone actually tried to hurt one of these children, King would transform into the most dangerous predator you've ever seen." To prove his point, Dr. Hyunwoo asked one of the station security officers to pretend to threaten So Young. The moment the man raised his voice and moved toward the little girl, King's entire demeanor changed. His ears went forward, his muscles tensed, and a low growl rumbled from his chest. He positioned himself between the pretend threat and So Young, ready to attack if necessary. The aliens all stepped back in alarm. In that moment, they could see exactly what King was descended from. This was a creature designed by millions of years of evolution to hunt and kill. But when Dr. Hyunwoo called off the demonstration, King immediately relaxed and went back to his gentle, friendly behavior. The alien investigators realized they were witnessing something that should not exist according to everything they understood about biology and evolution. Humans had not just survived alongside apex predators. They had formed genuine partnerships based on mutual trust, love, and respect that went both ways.